Good evening and welcome to News 11. I'm Patrick Ryan.
And I'm Ryan Blotto.
We begin tonight with a new development in the coronavirus in the SUNY system. Governor Cuomo tweeted this afternoon that the CUNY and SUNY systems will move to a distance learning model of classes for the rest of the semester. In a press conference, the governor and his team said that they are working to figure out the details of how campuses and classes will function. Cuomo's senior advisor says, quote, "There may be certain applications where in-person instruction is still required, like lab settings, so the campuses themselves are not going to be closed," end quote. This move is an effort to reduce large groups of students in one place. The senior advisor also says, quote, "A large amount of graduation ceremonies will not be happening." The SUNY and CUNY systems have a combined student body of more than 650,000 students, and the announcement comes after New York State suspended study abroad programs to China, Japan, Italy, Iran, and South Korea. As for Fredonia specifically, the campus received an email this afternoon saying that Residence Life will help, quote, "most students in moving out of the residence halls on or before March 19th. All staff will keep coming to campus as normal, and we don't know the status of events like commencement for the rest of the semester. We reached out to Residence Life, but we're in an emergency meeting and could not comment. However, since we did reach out to them, we did receive a statement via email in which they say that all residence halls will be closed Thursday, March 19th, 2020, and that students living on campus are expected to check out of their residence halls and townhouses by 4 p.m. on March 19th. And you are prohibited from returning to your residence halls or, residence halls to get personal belongings. So they are telling you to make sure that you're packing your personal belongings and that you're ready to go. They are going to provide little envelopes for you to put your keys in the mailboxes so you can check out. If you're unable to check out of your residence hall by March 19th, they ask that you contact reslife@fredonia.edu. And the university bookstore is working with Residence Life to have all packages shipped home. And the announcement from the governor's office isn't the first move in the SUNY system to protect students from the virus. SUNY Brockport is one of the 2 state universities quarantining students who returned from abroad. Brockport has 32 students in a 14-day quarantine because of the coronavirus pandemic. 18 were studying in Italy, and the other 14 were in South Korea or Japan. Brockport was chosen because it has vacant buildings that they can quarantine students in. The quarantined students have Wi-Fi, separate rooms, and food provided to them. SUNY at Stony Brook is the other quarantine site with 26 students. Both universities say this is a precaution and that none of the students are showing symptoms of the virus. Cornell and Syracuse, both private schools, asked their students returning to self-quarantine at home.
And on a lighter note, get your popcorn ready. Buffalo is about to hit the silver screen once again. A Quiet Place Part 2, the sequel to the hit 2018 horror movie, opens on March 18th at the Walden Galleria Theater before going into wide release on the 20th. And the John Krasinski directed movie isn't the only one being filmed in the Queen City. Guillermo del Toro is still shooting his adaptation of Nightmare Alley starring Bradley Cooper. And Judd Apatow will start filming his Billy Eichner-headed movie next month. Apatow's movie doesn't have a title yet, but they're still looking for extras. This is just about how A Quiet Place comes out next week. Guillermo is still filming, and Judd Apatow will be filming next month.
Thank you, Ryan. This Friday is March 14th. That's right, it's Pi Day. However, since spring break starts the next day, Fredonia celebrated 2 days early. The Department of Mathematical Sciences hosted its celebration this afternoon with a theme of the Nickelodeon network. So the celebration was called Pi-Nickelodeon Day. That is creative. And coming up, we have your national news headlines, updates on the coronavirus, new methods for tracking illegal immigrants, and an asteroid that got blown out of proportion. We'll be back.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Había un niño que era muy sensible a luces y sonidos. Construía escondites donde no podían entrar. No le gustaba mirar a la gente a los ojos, lo hacía sentir incómodo. Un día se descubrió que tenía autismo. Con ayuda poco a poco aprendió a vivir mejor con ello.
Mientras más pronto se diagnostique, mejor. Conoce las señales en autismspeaks.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates.
Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
More coronavirus cases are cropping up across the country, and more measures are being taken to prevent it. Even before his announcement about distance learning at public universities earlier today, Governor Cuomo announced there will be a containment area 1 mile around Westchester County for the next 2 weeks. Any large gathering places in the area, like churches or schools, will be shut down. Cuomo also says the state will be introducing New York State Clean Hand Sanitizer. Through the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, prisoners will be producing about 100,000 gallons of free alcohol-based hand sanitizer to help battle price gouging.
Comes in a variety of sizes. It has a very nice floral bouquet. A little, I detect the lilac, hydrangea, tulips. What does it smell like to you? Tulips, yes. Floral bouquet, making it in the state of New York.
As of early afternoon, the CDC says there are 938 confirmed cases in the U.S. and 29 deaths. More than 200 of those cases are in New York State.
A policy change from the Trump administration allows immigration authorities to collect DNA from detained immigrants. Authorities will collect the DNA through fingerprinting scanning and will transfer it to FBI databases. The Trump administration states that the changes will help law enforcement to catch criminal suspects. Law enforcement officials will use the gathered DNA and test it against DNA collected at crime scenes. Immigrant right activists, have attacked the move, stating that it's, quote, dehumanizing and a serious breach of privacy. Under the Obama administration, federal officials decided that collecting DNA from immigrants was not practical. The current administration says collection has gotten easier since 2008 and that these new policies will start in April.
Disgraced Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein was sentenced to 23 years in prison this morning. Weinstein was found guilty of criminal sex act and rape in the 3rd degree in February. Weinstein also faces rape and sexual assault charges in California. Los Angeles District Attorney Jackie Lacey tweeted Wednesday that her office was working on extraditing him.
That sentence that was just handed down by this court was obscene. That number was obnoxious. There are murderers who will get out of court faster than Harvey Weinstein will. That number spoke to the pressure of movements and the public. That number did not speak to the evidence that came out at trial. That number did not speak to the testimony that we heard. That number did not speak to evidence, nor did it speak to justice. I am overcome with anger at that number. I think that number is a cowardly number to give. I think the judge caved, just as I believe the jury caved, and I am not happy. That sentence.
The New York Times and New York Post first published allegations against the ex-producer in 2017. More than 90 women have made public accusations about Weinstein.
Nuclear winter and mass extinction. This is what many people thought was headed our way last month when an asteroid bigger than the largest man-made structure flew by the Earth. That's what website IGN and The Hill posted on Facebook anyway. NASA confirmed that a, quote, potentially hazardous asteroid was headed in our direction at 34,000 miles per hour. But it missed us at a distance of 5.7 million kilometers, 15 times as much as the distance between the Earth and the Moon. The reason for doomsday reports is because NASA says any asteroid that comes within 7.5 million kilometers is potentially hazardous. According to Forbes, we don't know any asteroid yet that is on track to hit the Earth. And it is weather time now with Haley Poth. Hi, Haley.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Not too shabby.
Not
a little
too
upset
shabby.
about the SUNY Fredonia news, but
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here to tell us all about the weather.
Yes.
You know, it's been beautiful, but I had my window open, and I don't know, I feel like it's different day to day.
yeah, it's different day to day, but it's still, you know, some spring weather.
Definitely.
We're going to finally begin to see some of the spring weather pretty consistently for the time being. Tonight will be a low of 35 with calm winds past midnight. Tomorrow could reach a high of 56 with partly sunny skies. Thursday night, there's an 80% chance of rain with after 1 a.m., which will lead into showers early Friday morning. Friday will also be mostly rainy with winds up to 29 miles per hour in the afternoon. The rain should come to a stop by Friday night, but the temperature will drop to around 32. Saturday and Sunday will be mostly sunny with days of highs of 38 and 41. The nights will be chilly, though, with lows of 29 and 31. Monday and Tuesday, we could also see more showers, but the chances are only around 30%. So the spring weather is here, and even if it is rain, it's better than snow.
That is for sure. Well, a good start to spring break, I guess, weather-wise at least. That's for sure.
Yes.
Definitely. All right. Well, Haley, thank you. And coming up in international news, suicide bombers kill a police officer outside of an embassy in Tunisia. The Great Barrier Reef enters a critical stage, and free speech comes to a head between a search engine and a Spanish court. After the break.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
adopted from the creative galaxy in my idea box.
Transform your world.
Will you help me make art?
Before you throw it away,
Hey, I have an idea.
think outside the box.
Go be amazing!
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Welcome back. Lawmakers have confirmed that 2 bombers killed themselves outside of a U.S. embassy in Tunisia on Friday. The explosion killed 1 police officer who died during surgery and injured 4 other people. The head of the Armed Forces and Securities Commission confirmed that the bombers were on a motorcycle and they set off the explosions when a police officer stopped them to ask where they were going. A ministry spokesperson said the officer died after surgery and insisted that the bombers targeted the officers on patrol and not the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. State Department is working with local authorities on the investigation, and no one has claimed responsibility for the attack.
In the upcoming weeks, the Great Barrier Reef will be going through intense heat stress. The chief scientist at the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority says the weather conditions over the next 2 to 4 weeks will determine the final outcome. Ocean temperature reports have indicated an increase in the past couple months, and there have been more than 200 reports of coral bleaching in different spots of the reef. A coral reef watch scientist from the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says the current coral bleaching is the worst the reef has ever encountered. If the temperatures cool down, there will be some coral recovery. The main risk to the reef is climate change, but human activities risk coastal development, runoff, and illegal fishing also contribute.
Ryan, thank you. A Spanish court has ruled that Google must erase articles about a man accused of sexual abuse, a move Google says goes against free speech laws. Google originally appealed the ruling and argued to allow 10 articles about the man to stay in the search results. The court partially accepted the appeal and ordered the tech giant to erase 8 of the 10 articles and also put the man's acquittal at the top of the search results. The unnamed man faced a potential 27 years in prison. Google said the articles were not outdated or irrelevant. Instead, the company says they are of public interest and should be protected by free speech laws. However, according to the AP, the Spanish privacy agency has traditionally defended people's, quote, rights to be forgotten.
Despite worries due to the coronavirus, the Tokyo Olympics are still on. The CEO of Comcast, NBC's parent company, says, quote, "It's full steam ahead. We're getting ready. We're excited," end quote. Many advertisers aren't as enthusiastic. The president of marketing and events for Octagon, a sports agency working with several Fortune 100 companies on Olympic deals, plans for the Tokyo Olympics to occur, but says it's necessary to ask important questions since hundreds of millions of dollars are attached to the games. He says, quote, "These questions are being asked at every level of our clients' organizations," end quote. Some of the sponsors for the 2020 Olympic Games include Coca-Cola, Airbnb, General Electric, Procter, and Gamble and Visa. How you doing, Kevin?
Pretty good, other than sad about the news, but...
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate ruling.
Yes, luckily you and I will be back next year at least.
Yes.
But as for the sports teams here, everything is up in the air even with these teams. The Fredonia State men's baseball team won 2 and lost 2 this past weekend in Myrtle Beach. On Friday, they lost to Johnson and Wales University 5-2. On Saturday, they defeated Lehman 19-8 and 10-7. And then on Sunday, they lost to the Penn State Berks 6-4. Tyler Phillips, Pat Bigham, James Mitchell, and Brian Chat were the weekend's top performers, while Kenneth Yanoa and Adam Goot are in the wins on the mound. The Blue Devils head down to Florida tomorrow for their spring break games, starting with RIT on Friday. So they did get permission. They will be going, but we will see after that. And then the women's lacrosse team went 1-1 on opening weekend this past Saturday and Sunday in Utica. They lost to Albright College Saturday 15-5, but then defeated SUNY Poly on Sunday 16-13. Allie Kuhn had 3 goals in Friday's loss, while Alyssa Kissel and Madeline Haney each had 4 on Saturday. The Blue Devils played at Dieuville tonight, but we are still awaiting a final score. And finally, the Buffalo Bills signed free agent cornerback Josh Norman to a 1-year, $6 million deal on Monday, worth up to $8 million with incentives. The 32-year-old spent the last 4 seasons in Washington, after spending his first 4 in Carolina with Sean McDermott as his defensive coordinator. Yesterday, the Bills then exercised a 2020 option on offensive lineman Spencer Long and then re-signed cornerback Levi Wallace and wide receiver Robert Foster, both who were exclusive rights free agents. The new league year starts next week as free agency begins Wednesday at 4 p.m.
Well, Kevin, what do you think this all means for Fredonia sports?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I saw before I came into the station, they did get permission to go down to Florida. But
really?
I don't know after that, yeah.
Because with all the activities being put on hold with all the classes and stuff, that might mean an end for some of the college athletes' careers.
Exactly. There's just so many sad aspects of this because, like you said, that could just like that, everything is just done.
Yeah, it's not like high school anymore. It's like now people are actually trying to build their careers at school. So. And
also for March Madness, the NCAA just came out with a statement saying that no fans are allowed to the March Madness games anymore, and that's a huge event for everyone. Right. And NBA games, they might not allow fans the rest of the year, so everything's up in the air right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Kevin. Coming up, another round of odd news stories. A tragic story of a plastic plant, a woman goes to jail, and a crash on Easter Island. Plus another look at the weather. We'll be back.
I'll be right back. Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
A woman recently discovered that a plant she had watered for 2 years is, in fact, plastic. Kaylee Wilkes shared her tragic story on Facebook. When pulling the plant from its original container, Kaylee discovered that the plant was sitting on a styrofoam base. Wilkes said that the plant was, quote, just an overall perfect plant, unquote, and that she put so much love into this plant. Wilkes says that she feels betrayed by her once beloved succulent, stating that, quote, I feel like these last 2 years have been a lie, end quote. The story then caught the attention of hardware store chain Home Depot. The story does have a positive ending, however. Home Depot delivered a real succulent to Wilkes' front door with same-day shipping.
Oh, some good levity today. And one of the famous Easter Island statues has been destroyed. A Chilean man's personal pickup truck rolled down a hill and destroyed both the statue and the base it sat on. No one was in the truck when it crashed, and authorities say it rolled because of the brake failure. The stone heads are an iconic attraction of the island and a symbol of the local culture, religion, and ancestors of the Rapa Nui people on Easter Island. There are also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The island's mayor wants to put more regulations in place to prohibit vehicles from driving near the statues, since tourism is a problem for the island.
Throughout their life, most people try to avoid a jail cell, but this grandmother had it at the top of her bucket list. Ruth Bryant recently celebrated her 100th birthday in an unusual way, locked up in a county jail. The stunt was all organized to help Ruth live out her lifelong dream of going to jail. While incarcerated, Ruth received one phone call, a mugshot, and an orange jumpsuit. Bryant played along with the stunt, lightly resisting and kicking her feet as they loaded her into the police car. The charges against Bryant: indecent exposure at the fire department. Fortunately, the milestone birthday ended with Bryant being returned to her family and enjoying a party with her family and friends.
It's election year, and the Vermont town of Fairhaven chose its new pet mayor on Super Tuesday. That's right, a pet mayor. In the 2-year tradition, the incumbent 3-year-old Nubian goat named Lincoln got outvoted by a 3-year-old Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, oh, those are cute, Muffrey, is a therapy dog and won by 146 votes. The town manager says the tradition is useful in teaching children the importance of voting. 300 of the 664 people who voted were elementary students. The campaign money for the animals is in the race goes towards replacing the community playground equipment. As for the former mayor, the Fairhaven police chief, who also nominated his department's canine, says, quote, Lincoln's done a great job and, quote, represented the community well. All right, well, we are about to get our second weather hit of the day. How's the weather been treating you, Ryan?
Honestly, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been pretty warm. I hope it stays. I know we're going to drop back a little colder, but I'm really hoping that the groundhog was right.
Truly.
Early spring.
Dunkirk Dave, I believe he goes by.
Oh.
And what's the...
It's not Puxatawny Phil?
Puxatawny Phil.
Yes, Puxatawny Phil.
All right. Well, I think Haley Poth is ready for us over at the weather wall. Haley, how are things looking today?
It's looking really nice today. We're just one last look at the weather. It's good. We're going to see a nice balance of sun and rain within the next few days as the sun fights to stay out. Thursday will be partly sunny with highs up to 56, but Thursday night will begin rains that will continue into Friday afternoon. The winds on Friday could reach up to 29 miles per hour, and there is an 80% chance of rain that will dissipate by the night and bring a low of 32. Saturday and Sunday, the sun will remain out, so this is an excellent start to spring break. Here's a closer look.
We're doing great on time. All right, Haley, thank you. Well, as you know, it's kind of up in the air what's going to happen the rest of the semester, and this probably will be our final broadcast of News 11 for the semester. So I just wanted to give a message to you and our crew and everyone involved with the show that, you know, I joined WNYF my freshman year not knowing we even had a TV station here, and I joined Fred Before Bed and was welcomed with open arms by everyone, and I hope that's been the experience for everyone that's stepped through since. And little did I know the next 3.5 years would be quite the ride here. I have to say thank you to Kate Coble for taking a chance on me my freshman year and bringing me on to relaunch our Channel 8 Update broadcast, our old name. And it was an amazing experience to do that. We had virtually no set, no crew, no graphics or a writing staff, but we made it work. And even if that meant putting teleprompters on blocks on stools. So we've really come a long way, and I'm so proud of our team that we have now and past and present every week. And you know, we have our disagreements and we laugh a lot, just like families do. We've come such a long way, and the show's provided me and so many others start to our broadcasting careers. Thank you to everyone who have sat next to you on the show.
Thank you, Patrick.
You guys are awesome. And I've made lifelong friends at the station, and I'm forever grateful that I signed up at Activities Night to join. It's been an honor to serve as the executive producer of the show the last 3.5 years. And to serve as your general manager. I'm so proud of our e-board, and I wouldn't be anywhere without any of you. I think we've really made something special here, and I hope I've made all of you proud. So maybe we'll be back. Hopefully we won't, or not hopefully, but maybe we'll be back. We probably won't be, but it's kind of sad. I don't know. But for the last time tonight, I'm Patrick Ryan. Good night. Now we all pretend we talk.